in white linen and cold as the clay. I see by your outfit that you are a cowboy. These words he did say as I boldly walk by. Here we go. Excuse me, I'm choking. I'm so choked up. When Fluffy's in and John Hand and Indo Spiritual Licks is here. Krusty and Wolverine, Big Green, Fluffy. The mods are well represented. Everything's cooking. I have to put this out here right away. We're getting ridiculous thunderstorms blasting through the area. So, as seems to be the case with us a great deal of the time recently, if the stream suddenly dies, well, it could just be YouTube killing it like happened on Monday. But even more likely, could just be one of these storms blasting out the power. I already heard a bunch of, excuse me, a bunch of sirens going off out the window here. Rick says, I love the movie Alien, starring Will Smith as a fish. A gay fish? Storm ASMR. Yeah, Lude. It's just let up again. It just keeps coming in waves and sounded like it might have been hail. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Sounded like it might have been hail this last time. AZN says, in a parallel universe, anime doesn't exist? Then fuck their universe then. Their universe sucks. What the hell? They got a lot of nerve. Any universe that doesn't have anime is the drizzling shits, and we should slap them around. You guys, you guys know I'm fascinated by things like that, by the potential of life out there somewhere, and the whole parallel universes thing, which a lot of you guys have a lot more knowledge about than do I. That's why I like doing these. Yeah, Big Green says, I don't want to live in that parallel universe. Me either. Well, that's what I meant, Daniel. He says, gay fish reminds me of South Park. Yeah. Well, that's because we all know Kanye West is a genius. So, how can he be a genius and a gay fish? I guess those things aren't mutually exclusive. Not a big Transformers fan, Joel. I mean, I don't think I've ever watched the entirety of one of their movies. My oldest son, when he was little, he used to collect some of the Transformers. But no, I never got into them. In a parallel universe, Notre Dame doesn't suck. Well, Fluffy, that would be referred to as our universe then. I guess ours is parallel to some others. Hey, Jesus Christ is in. It's always good to have a celebrity here. He says, ready to clap some Tig Buddy alien cheeks. Tig Bitties? Ooh, yeah, that would be, wouldn't that be cool if the aliens were hot? I don't know, right? I think that's been done. Well, of course, pretty much everything's been done in porn, but you know, the race of only well-endowed female aliens, I would like that. They could look like, speaking of South Park, remember the cat piss episodes where they were snorting huffing cat piss to get high? And the chick that Kenny kept meeting while he was tripping? Oh, we could have an alien race of her. Hey, Masag. Would an anime universe have our real world as fictional entertainment? I'd like to think so. Okay, and if we're thinking along those lines, if we're saying that the anime reality sees us as their entertainment, I'm trying to think, what equitable anime character would I be for them? Fat Boo? I would take that. Gluttony? From Full Metal? Wolverine says, in an alternate universe, Brax put down the fork. Freddy says, speaking of aliens, happy Mexican Independence Day. Is it Mexican Independence Day? I didn't even know that, Freddie. Happy Independence Day. Arriba. The one word of Spanish I know. Kaiser says, in a parallel universe, all the crappy movie sequels are amazing, and the original good ones were crappy. So it'd be kind of like, what was that? What was Superman's getaway called? I can't remember what it was now. Or not his getaway, but it was Bizarro World. Bizarro Superman or something. Wasn't that the thing that was... Man, it's been so many years. Bizarro Superman was where everything was the complete opposite, right? Rosa said, what's the difference between alien-led suicide and human-led suicide? Not a lot. The transgenders are still killing themselves faster. Yikes. Oh. Just Bizarro, is that what it was? Krusty Bomb? I couldn't remember. I knew it was something like that. Yeah, it wasn't it's been years since I read that comic. Wasn't Bizarro Superman... His face was all cracked up and everything or something. I think I'm remembering that right. Pikachu says, sir, if you could go into a parallel anime universe, which anime universe you would go to? I don't know. Are we saying to just basically live within that world? I've always said I always wanted to be an interspecies reviewer. I have a writing background. And I would like to have a background in the other requirements that are necessary to do that job. I don't know. There's a lot of cool words. A lot of cool worlds. It's hard to go into any of the shonen ones because you know you're going to get your ass beat at some point. I mean, One Piece seems like fun until, you know, Big Mom or somebody comes and takes your soul and all your life away and shit. Yeah, it would depend, as far as what universe, it would depend on what kind of abilities within that universe would I be allowed to have. Big Green says, I'm pretty sure I clicked on live chat. Susan, did you put me back on top chat? That's happened to me a couple times recently. And then today, when I uploaded that Family Guy clip, oh, hold on, guys. I'm still trying to do our push for, to try and take over as the #1 anime spot on Patreon. So hold on, I just want to post. Okay, maybe. There we go. I wanted to pin this post just so anybody that's coming in and not used to these things can see where the goosh is. And I completely forgot what I was saying. Completely lost it. Josh says, I believe aliens are real. It would be a stretch to say there isn't. Yeah, I've always said that same thing. To deny every single alien encounter is insane. Same with Bigfoot. Not every encounter is real, but there are too many to deny it. For me, it's even more, it's not even so much about the encounters as just of what we know about the cosmos. The cosmos is so insanely... What the hell did that post twice? You don't need it twice, Curtis. The cosmos is so insanely vast. I've always said it would be really kind of arrogant of us to believe that we could be the only situation of this sort within that cosmos. So I just say the numbers game makes it likely that there's other intelligent life out there. Cheap says you'd be Fat Gum from My Hero. Not fat, just energy. In a parallel universe, Rosa says, I am a real girl. And in another parallel universe, I have lost my virginity to a goat. That parallel universe is called Alabama. Indo says, in my opinion, aliens don't exist, but as I've said, anything is possible. Well, like I say, I haven't, that I know of, I have not had an alien encounter. I haven't had any come up and introduce themselves to me or anything. But I just think, again, just the expanse of the cosmos makes it hard to believe that there isn't other life out there. And what about all these, what about all the information that's been declassified now from the government on all these UFO sightings? I mean, this isn't from hillbillies drinking too much moonshine. This is active duty military personnel, flying jet fighters and shit, who know exactly what everything in the sky should look like. That's kind of, it's fascinating and kind of unsettling. I mean, so what were these guys seeing? What were they recording there? Because once again, these are people that would know if something is out of the ordinary, and they said they believe it was definitely out of the ordinary. In a parallel universe, I'm still useless, Big Green says. Stop. What if aliens lived among us? They live style. That's that's the thing, Chance. Yeah. What if, could it happen? Could be happening. How would we know if they're that much more advanced than us? Wolverine says there are rumors that there are planets a lot like Earth, only hundreds of millions of years younger, and others that are much older. I tell you, Wolverine. I would tend to find that entirely believable, just again because of the infinite nature of the cosmos. There's just, as the Big Bang took place and things just keep expanding forever, the odds are in favor of there being other situations that would support life. Biff Victor Rabbit says there's cryptid animals that have sightings that go back thousands of years. Yeah. Again, you wonder too, don't you guys? I wonder how much the governments of the world actually know about this stuff. That was cool what they released, what we're talking about here with the encounters that the military has had and things of that nature. That's very cool. But there's more. War Daddy says it's just Rick and Morty flying around. That'd be actually really cool. That would be awesome. If I'm, when I go out someday, I wouldn't mind if it was, I get taken out by a Rick and Morty accident. There's no global warming, Alex says. Chuck Norris, it was so cold he just turned up the sun a notch. Andrew says, this mean that U6 Curtis has the tiny dingling? Oh, so yeah. No, I would like to say that, but that would mean he has the giant one. Planet Goose, yeah, Fluffy. Oh, or parallel universe Goosh. That'd be pretty awesome in and of itself. Rosa says there are 11 theoretical dimensions in the universe, and humans are only 3-dimensional. What if one of these alien life forms are 4-dimensional? Would we even be able to comprehend them? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Because would we be able to comprehend something exists, seeing as how we share 3 of the 4 dimensions, or share vision of 3 of the 4 dimensions? I don't know. That's a good one. Daddy Alucard says, in a parallel universe, I am married to a cosplayer emo goth girl, and they do not divorce me. Get all the bedroom fun I want. Yes. If porn has taught me anything, and it's taught me many things, it's that goth girls are a party. Joel says, Curtis is ready to storm Area 51 with Police Girl. Oh, yeah. And Cell, and ready to clap some alien cheeks whilst piloting the Pattymobile. Oh. Yeah, I just hope that in whatever parallel universe we're going to stumble upon, that my Sarah's Victoria is there in the flesh, and she likes old, fat, bald guys. I'm sure she will. Dogman, Biff. Vector Rabbit says Dogman encounters radio is interesting. Never heard of that. Spiritual Monk says aliens, beam me up. Alex says if I had to pick an anime world to live in, I would want to live in Naruto's world and possibly have some fun with Tsunade. Oh yeah. The only thing that sucks about Naruto's world, well, one of the things that sucks about Naruto's world is 12-year-olds having to go out into war. You guys know how I had that whole paternal thing going where I'm very protective of kids, and that's kind of hard to watch. Excuse me. Biff says heaven and hell could be alternate dimensions. Yeah, I think, well, I shouldn't say because I'm so weak on dogma, religious dogma of any type, and understanding what they believe. I think I guess could it be called a dimension that they're thinking heaven and hell exist in? To me, it always seemed like it's an actual physical place. Well, so would another dimension be? Lick says 12 years old going to war just like in real life. Yeah, that's the thing that'd be tough for me, Licks, in that world. Trevor says you'd spot but not be able to comprehend something you saw a fourth dimensional being, but you'd probably go insane due to seeing it. That's what I wonder. That's what I was thinking, Trevor. It seems like we would at least be able to comprehend that there is a presence, right? Even though we likely might not be able to interact with it or fully comprehend it. Josh says, peace out, Curtis. Got to go back to work. Oh, okay. If you're still streaming when I get off work, I'll join you back in. Well, thanks for popping in, Josh. Lick says they pretty much are alternate dimensions we've accepted at this point, that hell isn't underground and that heaven isn't the sky. Yeah, so I guess an alternate dimension would be a fitting description if you believe in heaven and hell. Yeah. David says there's an anime about two girls surviving an apocalypse. It's called Girls Last Tour, and it's actually very good. Really, I don't think I've ever even heard of that one. Joel says my anime would be Bikini Bottom. That, I think we can all agree that if we're going to live in an anime universe, you can't do much better than Bikini Bottom. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to throw Squidward out of his stupid house and take it over so the neighborhood could be full of 3 idiots. Sounds like a hentai, Jack says. Pikachu says, Curtis, do you think consciousness is beyond our dimensions? Well, I think you can make the case there would be levels of consciousness. I mean, as humans, our consciousness can absorb, can understand, grasp X amount. I've often thought that our level of consciousness is very limited because, again, believing as I do in the scientific methods or the scientific explanation for all that is of creation, we all came initially from space dust and rocks. And so it would be nice if somehow throughout all these many, many centuries, we could have held onto some of that awareness of what originally was. So I do think there is a consciousness potential above what we have. Spiritual Monk says, I felt a being that's very hard for me to describe except a being of pure love. It's interesting. Mr. Shank says this is my kind of conversations. Yeah, that's why I do these every so often, Mr. Shank. I always enjoy these. You guys always have really good, interesting takes on all this, and I enjoy talking about this stuff. Krusty Bomb says consciousness being in a dimension opens the door to some really weird shit, like out of body experiences where we're all in some kind of mind plaza thing, just chilling rather than using technology. Yeah, it almost gets. You get to a point where it's almost like sitting around and pondering infinity. Eventually, it just makes you feel small and kind of confused. Jesus Christ says, can you please react to Lordi? The devil is a loser? What is that? Lordi, the devil is a loser? Probably not. I don't even know what we're talking about. What that is that a series? A YouTuber? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a song? Yeah, I don't do any music reactions. No. Rose says, Curtis, you are already small. I feel it. I feel that. And Rose also says, what if there are beings that are three-dimensional like us, but they are within three different dimensions than us? We are in dimension ABC and they are in dimension EDF. Yeah, and so how do we ever get those dimensions to cross paths? Didn't I meant to read up on this because I saw a headline. I do this all the time. I'll see a headline while I'm doing something and think, oh, I got to get back to that and look it up. And then I never remember to. And then you have a conversation like this and it brings it back up. Didn't scientists just recreate to some level a black hole? I believe I read that and I wanted to follow up on it. And because they said it proved a significant portion of the things that Einstein had said about black holes. Anybody else read about that? Because I meant to look more into it and I forgot until we just had this conversation. Daniel says, in the universe, Mickey Mouse is an actual prostitute. Yeah, I would like to think that our fiction is reflective of the actual goings on in other parallel universes, especially things like that. Harambe says it's only a matter of time until Future Trunks finds us. We'll be waiting for him. You heard about that black hole as well, Daihaj? Yeah, I wanted to read more because that's fascinating to me. It was someone's asshole, Fluffy says. And to be honest, after I read it, I'd forgotten all about it until just now, until it came up again. Kaiser says, Nadisco actually covered an interesting idea where the in-universe show Gekaganger 3 was watching them also. Somehow both Nadesco and Gekaganger 3 got their tech ideas from each other. Animeception. David says, I've seen people walk into fountains and closed doors and trees. Imagine on an alien world, despite being 10,000 years more advanced, doing the same thing. Hey, I'm all for that. If there are aliens out there, I hope we find that out for a fact before I die. If there are multiple diverse dimensions out there, I hope we can make contact, find one before I die. That stuff fascinates the shit out of me. Chrome says, I know Star Trek did an episode about 2D beings interacting with our universe. It was interesting. They were attracted by vibrations and couldn't be observed at the wrong angle. That's kind of cool. And Lute's stream keeps dying. There's no telling. Let me mention this. As I said at the beginning, guys, we're getting a significant band of thunderstorms just all afternoon through here. So it is possible one could come and zap out our power. So if we do just unexpectedly quit, you'll know why. Oh, okay. Jack's got more details. He says, yeah, at CERN, they're measuring how particles interact at light speeds because that's the only way to create the Higgs boson, also known as the God particle, meaning Big Bang. I gotta read up more on that, because that's always been fascinating as hell to me. that whole concept of black holes and everything. And then again, I had read the headline and completely forgot to follow up and read more on it. You got to go, Wolverine? Okay, pal, thanks for being in. Oh, okay. And Jack says Einstein was proven right with the recent discovery of gravitational waves. You know, it's amazing. Despite no lag, YouTube is especially fucky today. It was Big Green. And I should let you guys know, too, YouTube's been having a shit day. Like when I uploaded our video earlier, it took me about half a dozen tries just to get the thumbnail to upload. And then I went on social media to look, and sure enough, YouTube said they've been having issues. Typically, if they're having issues, with any one thing, it means the platform is having issues with many things. So that could be why Lude keeps getting bumped. Chrome says, didn't a film fund the most realistic black hole simulation to get an accurate model of a black hole for the film? It creates an orb with a disk. Beautiful looking. Let me find it. Oh, okay, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Muffin button is the answer. Well, luxurious wool mutton to be fair, mutton buffin. Oh, I don't want to get that close to you, Afro Mike. I don't know where you've been. Muffin button is the answer for pretty much everything. David says, I forgot to include aliens using smartphones being distracted walking into random shit, so my comment above is invalid. Lord Nightbane says, if parallel worlds exist, then that means there is a reality where Taylor Momsen became Hannah Montana instead of Miley Cyrus, and that is daunting. Oh, Interstellar? That's weird. That's the one that I never saw the movie. I think I mentioned this to you guys. I think I even showed it to you. But when they made Interstellar, when they were creating it, they had a contest, and that's back when I was doing a lot of video work, and they wanted clips for, I think it was going to be part of the DVD, A Tale of Mankind, basically. And my wife and Spaz Kid are both in that video. I submitted different clips that I'd used in my creations, and one of them was my wife at the 9/11 memorial. And then there was a quick shot of her and Brax watching fireworks at Disney World. And it was put together by the same people that made that movie. And it was, I believe it was supposed to be part of the DVD package or something. Dragon says, what's Michael Jackson's favorite thing to do on a guitar? Fingering a minor. A minor. Daniel says, next stream we should discuss urban creatures such as Bigfoot and Mothman. I have a friend who is a hardcore Bigfoot believer. I don't know if that video still exists. I made a video years ago trolling Bigfoot people. Basically, I went down, of all things, the railroad tracks, and pretended that I had caught footage of something unseen going across the tracks, and of course it was just a troll. And holy shit, the Bigfoot people got pissed. I don't even know how I'd go about finding it. That was years and years ago I made that. It's funny. If you can find it online, go read the comments. Biff says, there's word that the Tower of Babel was advanced alien technology that was destroyed. Lick says, pretty sure Bigfoot was just one guy encountering a larger than average bear and a bunch of people keeping the rumor alive to cash in on it. And the whole thing really took off, Licks, with that, and we still see it nowadays, with that really bad, grainy picture of supposed Bigfoot off in the distance. Jeez, that's been around for decades now, that picture. Dragon says, what did the fat man say when he entered Nagasaki? Nothing. He just exploded. It's a double entendre because, Nagasaki had a bad day when the fat man came to town, and then, of course, there's the X videos version of all that. Lou says there's also word the pyramids were built by aliens. We usually call these words idiotic. Chrome says, think this is it. Oh, okay, hold on. I want to check Chrome's link here, guys. Let me just pop that open in a new window. Pop it. Interstellar visual effects team publishes black hole study. Oh, very cool. Helping researchers better understand supermassive black holes. Huh. I'm just reading through it real quick. Gargantua. So they tried something new. That's really cool. That's really cool. I'd never seen that before. That's very cool, Chrome. I like that. I like that. Denny Alucard says, "Why is it so hard to break up with a Japanese girl?" I've heard this one. You have to, you have to drop the bomb 2 times on her. Yes. Big Green says, "I keep getting kicked out of the stream because apparently the stream quality that the stream is currently running isn't available for the stream. I have no idea what that means, but I hate it." Yeah. Again, guys, I apologize. I'm not surprised because every single time that I have encountered YouTube having issues, like I said they were earlier, they even acknowledged them that we couldn't upload thumbnails and stuff like that. Every time that's happened, they also end up having other issues as well. So, not a surprise. Willie says, "What if the reason there are so many religions is because they were all aliens who just visited different parts of the planet?" Wouldn't that be cool? If all those eons ago, all the religions were started by individual tribes of of aliens. That's kind of cool. Hey, well, there's Stream Boss too. Jack says YouTube hates the Germans because of the whole, well. Miro says, "Not an avid viewer of your channel, but my brother and I love your reaction videos. Keep it with the great shit. I'm 21 and love your content and takes lots of love from Australia." Well, good to have you with us, pal. I appreciate that. War Daddy, Chewbacca D's nuts. Kaiser says, "The CIA actually released documents on the law of attraction. Basically, a real life The Men Who Stare at Goats, the declassified file." Really? I hadn't heard about that either. I mean, as I know we had brought it up earlier, but really when you think about it, it is pretty daunting and fascinating, these encounters that military pilots have had. Because as I said, these are people that are experienced and trained to know what is supposed to be in the sky. And them being kerfuffled by something is enough to make all of us feel a little bit kerfuffled. I just like saying kerfuffle. Dragon says, "The best thing about your memory is that I can post jokes that I posted months ago and I might get the same reaction." You very well may get the same reaction, Dragon. The sad thing is, well, sometimes, see, that's how I can tell the difference between a lost memory when it's due to the post-concussion as opposed to just a lost memory from being old or just being human. Like, Dragon, if you told me the joke that you had told before, and I liked it, and I laughed, and you said, "Okay, I told you that a while back." If I think back, I'll typically be able to dredge up a memory like, "Okay, I kind of remember that." If I can't, if it's just black, that means I was having one of those post-concussion days, because that's what happens. And it's weird. It's hard for me to describe, but there is such a different feel for memories that I've lost due to the brain damage as opposed to just typical forgetfulness. Brian says, "What if aliens came down and their slogan was the same as Blue World Order? We're taking over." Yeah, that would be our luck. Hey, good to have you, Philip. Glad you're in. Chrome says, "The CIA releases a lot of reports every now and then. People tend to miss them, like when they accidentally admitted to making a pedo cult called the Finders who dug underground tunnels to school." Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Jesus. Oh, Yeah, well, it's funny how, like, the CIA, I think, is just a necessary evil. I think they've been involved in a lot of things that the whole world would be better off if they were never involved in, but they've also been involved in gleaning information that has been vital. So they're kind of a mixed bag. Dragon says, how do you knock out 26 kids in one punch? You give them the Sandy Hook. Oh, I've heard that one before, but not in a while. That one, oh, that one's terrible. Oh, oh. Willie says, YouTube is like the Soviet Union. They are red, don't care about their citizens, and they love censoring differing opinions. That's good, Willie. That is perfectly accurate. Maybe YouTube could change their logo to something with CCCP on it. Certainly apropos. I think it would make sense. Alex says, anal probes are underrated. They've done it to me a few times, even let me keep the probe afterwards. Well, it's nice of them to give you a souvenir, Lex. If you're going to anal probe you, yeah, I get that. You want to have something to remember the moment. Oh, hey, I wanted to ask you guys, completely off topic, but it's something I was thinking of earlier. So I want to ask you guys, I'm thinking of playing, I just downloaded it. I see Doki Doki Literature Club, which was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. I see they came out with an updated version. I downloaded it earlier. I'm not going to stream it because when I get back to streaming games, we already have stuff in progress. You know, most notably Resident Evil Village. But I'm going to at least make a video of the gameplay to see if there's initial interest in it. Would you guys like to see that? Because I would love to play that game again. Even if it weren't an update, I'd love to play it again. Maybe get a different ending. And there's so much shit I forget. I'd like to do it again. Hey, Philip, thanks for the Pussy Pink Sky. Pussy Pink Sky, everybody. Philip says, personally, if multiverse theory turns out to be true, I want a copy of Jurassic Park from the universe where they made a rated R version that sticks closer to the novel. Also, Star Wars with Toshiro Mifune, Lucas's original choice for Obi-Wan. Really? Toshiro Mifune? I didn't know that. I never knew there was another Obi-Wan who he had pursued. That's kind of cool. I didn't even hear. I never knew that the Jurassic Park novel was much grittier and hardcore than the movies. Oh, I would, yeah. I'm with you 100% on that. That would have been cool if that's the case, you know, and it was significantly rougher. I would have liked to have seen that. Luxurious Fool says, do it. Doki Doki Plus has some new side stories. Okay, that's what, yeah. Everybody's saying they'll watch. Okay, cool. I'm going to try and do it. I'm hoping later today. My schedule is really crowded for the next few weeks, but I'm hoping to start getting some gameplays of that in because I don't even know. Something came up and I saw something about Doki Doki on social media or something. And I knew I had heard there was an updated version. So I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, I would love to replay that. That was, god damn, that game was creepy as hell. Dragon says, what's small, red, wet, and crawls up your leg? A homesick abortion. Oh, yeah. I hate when that happens. Get the hell off there, Junior. Red Wolf. I work security at Samsung, so you can say I'm a guardian of the galaxy. Bad jokes, terrible puns are the best. Shelby says, do you think they'll ever redo Jurassic Park? Maybe a more gruesome version? Or is that one of those movies you don't touch? I don't think, knowing the sensitivities now, Shelby, I think they'd be afraid to do a more gruesome version. I think it would be cool. I didn't even realize until Philip just said it that the novels were that much more hardcore than the movies. But I would have wanted to see that. Oh, I didn't know this either. Philip says Star Wars is based heavily on Akira Kurosawa's Hidden Fortress. I didn't know that. Mifune would have more or less reprised his role in that movie. He turned it down because he thought it'd just be a kid's movie. Really? I knew none of that. That's really interesting. I didn't know. I got to look that up when we're done here. Hidden Fortress? Because I never knew that. That is interesting to me. Pizza Man says, I just want to say the world lost a comedic genius and a personal hero of mine, Norm Macdonald. R.I.P. Norm, you were one of the best. He was. You guys have heard me talk about Norm Macdonald many times. The guy's balls were this freaking big. He's one of the only comedians I've ever seen. He's the only comedian I've ever seen that was willing to go out on stage and intentionally tell just horrifically bad jokes, knowing they were bad, but maintain his composure in trying to sell them as his legit material. And it took, oh my God, he would do that and it would be so uncomfortable for several minutes while he's bombing. And then all of a sudden you would see an audience start to get it and go, God damn it, he's trolling. And then the stupid jokes became hilarious. He was a funny guy, and he was an absolutely fearless comic. And he was also Pigeon in Mike Tyson Mysteries, which is one of the great shows of all time. Dragon says, what do you call a movie about kids with cancer? Finding Chemo. Jesus Christ, Dragon. Oh man. It just keeps getting worse. Hey, Edgar, good to see you, my friend. The CIA reminds me of Donzo and his foundation Hanbu. Yeah, that I think that's a perfectly appropriate equation. Yeah, I agree, Edgar. We should check each and every CIA boss that's put into the position and see if he or she has extra eyes up and down their arms. That's a frighteningly good equation. Hey, Philip is Stream Boss. And Philip says, a lot more deaths in Jurassic Park the novel. Also, John Hammond isn't the visionary depicted in the movie. He's more of a greedy bastard. Really? Like I say, I knew none of this. And I love Jurassic Park. I thought that was a great movie. I was going to say I've seen all of them. I don't think I've seen all of them. I missed one of the earlier follow-ups. But the more recent ones, I picked it up again. And I love that series. That's the whole Jurassic Park series of movies is something my wife and I, and surprisingly, my wife likes it too. It's unusual for her and I to find common ground on movies. But it's one of those movies that if we're like flipping channels or we're doing other things downstairs and you just got TV on for background, if a Jurassic Park movie is on, we'll leave it right there. I enjoy those. I had no idea about any of that. Or did I have any idea of that relationship for Star Wars either? I've heard that one luxurious. Well, what's the hardest part of eating a vegetable? The wheelchair. Big Green says, yeah, I want to read that now. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it, BG? Absolutely. Chrome says, released a report during the impeachment trial to kind of bury it. Was the cult at the center of the satanic panic scare? They made them to spread disinfo to the USSR. Their leader was the game leader. Wow. That's what I mean. The CIA has been, just from what I'm sure it's the tip of the iceberg of which we know, they've been involved in so many fucked up things, so many really strange, really disturbing things. But again, then the other side of that coin is we also know some of the intel they've provided and some of the things they've dug up that have been very important to the nation. So they're definitely a good news, bad news organization. The Lucandrix says, anyway, got to love this channel. Be safe and bananas. Well, thanks. I think that bananas describes us pretty well. Evelyn says, hello, I'm a really huge fan of yours. Since Skyrim, I watched almost every video you've done. I have a question. Do you have Twitch? Yes, I do. Want to follow you. Anyway, to be honest, you deserve so much more attention on YouTube. Well, thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate that. I do have a Twitch. I rarely ever use it, though, to be honest with you. I mean, you're welcome to go follow, but you'll rarely ever see me on here. Usually I stream here. Just because both YouTube and Twitch have serious issues at the corporate level with their streaming services. And I don't think I would last long on Twitch, even more so than YouTube, because the way Twitch goes about business would piss me off. And the gang that's regular here will tell you, when YouTube pisses me off, I'll say exactly what's on my mind about them. But because I think it's just because Google is so big, they don't give a fuck. They don't care what I'm saying, which is probably good for me, because I'd get over the top and get my channel deleted or something. Whereas Twitch is hypersensitive, and if you say certain things, they're just going to be rid of you, so I wouldn't stay there long anyway, I don't think. Dragon says, what is the most expensive haircut? Chemotherapy. Jesus. Oh, man. Axel says, it's disturbing just how much stuff the CIA has done that we aren't aware of. I'm sure, pal. I'm sure. That's what I mean. They're definitely a good news, bad news organization, because they have done some good on behalf of America. And just what we know of, they've done some really disturbing shit on behalf of, well, who the hell knows who a lot of it was on behalf of. Philip says, a lot of Star Wars is based on things Lucas liked from his youth. Buck Rogers serials, that makes sense. John Ford westerns, yep, I see that. Kurosawa samurai flicks, WW2 bomber films, and American graffiti-style racing in California. All that makes sense when you read it. I would have never put that together. But yeah, every single one of those, as I was reading them, you can see that influence. That's really interesting. I would have never, individually made that connection. But yeah, when you list that, you definitely see it. Trevor says there's a parallel universe where Cleopatra defeated Octavan and rules Rome by proxy through Mark Antony. Chrome says, well, this is from the same government, that MK Ultra and the gay bomb. I'd say far more bad news than good news. The gay bomb is still hilarious. The other stuff is just sad and creepy. Yeah, like I say, it's just because there are times when we get talking about the CIA and their endeavors where I think, you know what, it's probably something that should just be disbanded. But especially with the nature of the world nowadays, I don't think we could really afford to entirely disband them. Hopefully, though, us not being able to afford to disband them doesn't allow them to lead to our demise or something. Big Green says, yeah, if you were among the bigger YouTubers, the things you say about YouTube wouldn't fly. You think so, Big Green? That's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. The only thing I can say on my behalf, not that YouTube would care, and you guys will back me up on it, when YouTube does things right, I stick up for them too. I've never been one that's looking for reasons to complain. But if you're going to do something stupid, and this platform is important to me, I'm not going to just ignore it. But again, when they've done things that I think were right, or I've even defended them on things like initially on their copyright stance. Because the way they had the copyright claim system set up a couple of years ago, they were doing it exactly right. They have to protect themselves. So, you filed the complaint. If someone filed a complaint, they notified you. You got to file a counter complaint. They stayed out of it just to exchange information. And then whoever filed the complaint had 10 days to take legal action. That's how it should be done. Well, now they still got that in place, but then they added the whole blocking system, which entirely negated the need for the DMCA thing. Dragon says, watch the chat. I'm not going to take my chances with Susan on this one. Okay, Dragon. Philip says, Luke is more or less a self-insert character for Lucas, a bored teenager wanting to leave home, hang out with his friends, and race his T-16. So, yeah, that I never would have imagined that Luke is kind of a mirroring of George Lucas himself. That's kind of cool. Like I say, I would have never had put all those influences together on my own. But when you see them written down, it's like, yeah, I get that. Wow. Lude says, fourth time I got bounced due to an error so far. Yeah, I figured it was going to be a bad day at YouTube, and now we've got another storm moving in too. So the next error could be could be lights out for me. Yeah, I've read about that. Chrome says, please tell me you know what the gay bomb was. I'm not joking. This thing they legit tried to make after World War II. I'm trying to remember all the details. Wasn't the gay bomb to drive the gay away? I believe, if I'm remembering it correctly. Yes, I've heard of the gay bomb. Damn, Susan hates Lude more than Gundam right now, Trevor says. Paroxysm says it's fine. YouTube will either learn to respect the people that made them who they are, or they'll lose following. They may be a monopoly now, but sooner or later, if they keep up the act, it'll come down. Well, the only upside to that paroxysm would be, as I said, I don't like the fact that YouTube hooked their pet project, which is YouTube TV, to this platform by name, because that means YouTube won't sell it. But the other side of that coin is, as you say, if they can fuck up this platform bad enough that people actually were to leave it, that's going to significantly hurt their cash cow YouTube TV. So, but yeah, they don't give a shit about YouTube itself. It's all about the YouTube TV. Oh, it was the opposite. I'm remembering it wrong. Chrome says it was a chemical weapon to get enemy soldiers to be gay. Okay, and extremely horny for each other, distract them and break their conscience. That's what it was. I knew it was something to do with the creation or dispersion of gayness, I guess. I couldn't remember all the details. It's been years since I read about it, but I do remember the gay bomb. Rosa says, did you know Hitler almost drowned when he was a child, but an old man risked his life to save him? What a good man. No, is that for real, Rosa? I didn't know that. Oh, that guy's a dick. Philip says, I'm imagining a gay Slim Pickens from Dr. Strangelove. Gives a whole new meaning to that name. Very strange love. Paroxysm says, you're definitely right, but it's also in their history, isn't it? Poor big YouTubers who get community guideline strikes with no clarity on why a video from years ago. Like, what the fuck, man? Oh, that's their new thing, Paroxysm. We've gotten hit by a couple. Not strikes so much, but either blocks or takedowns on stuff that's been up for ages. We have been hit by that in the past. I've had a couple reaction videos that were a couple 3 years old get a guideline strike against the channel. That was some time ago. And it's just bullshit. And what really gets you is they will hit something, an older video with a community guideline strike, and when that video was posted, it was within the guidelines of the time, and they don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm supposed to be watching. I just want to make sure. No, I didn't miss, because Dragon was trying to get something through the sensors. I want to make sure I wasn't missing them. I don't see it. Make sure I'm still on live chat too, because Susan. Chrome says the gay bomb or the halitosis bomb. The theories involve discharging female sex pheromones over enemy forces in order to make them sexually attracted to each other. What the? See, I didn't remember all the details of it. That's makes them all. That sounds like a South Park episode plotline to me. Dropping the gay bomb. Isn't that how they were getting rid of because in South Park they all went gay to stop the future people from coming back, right? The goobacks. Philip says, wonder if that guy who saved Hitler was the inspiration for Dr. Tenma from Monster. Yeah, a lot of similarities in there, Philip. God, that show was so good. If you guys have never seen that anime Monster, I can't recommend it more. It's the whole thing is on YouTube too. We watched it together at the Goosh at our Patreon, and every episode I watched was right from YouTube. It's really good. He hasn't posted it yet. Okay, thanks, Chrome. Oh, here's Dragon. You did post a joke, but I'll try again. I think it got squashed on you, Dragon. Because I do have it on live chat. I want to make sure. Because she's flicked me off that before. Now I'm going all the way up to your last super chat, pal, and I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have it. I'm just making sure. So it's probably you're probably putting it in and then she's deleting it on us. That would be my guess. Basic Science Student Tutor says, thanks for the recommendation. I've heard a lot of good things about monster anime. Oh, it is. It's excellent. Really captivating. Got one of my all-time favorite characters in there, too. I'm sure those who watch along with me know who I'm talking about. Yeah, I couldn't recommend it more. A really, really fascinating story. That's what I think, too, Lex. I think it's getting censored. Can we go for 10 YouTube errors in one stream? Let's go. Big Green says, yeah, it's got to be some of their servers or shit. Again, that never surprises me on a day when I've had any types of issues with anything at YouTube, because rarely are issues isolated at good old YouTube. If they're having a problem with one thing, they're usually having problems with plenty of things. Chrome says, so excited to finally original Dragon Ball. Unless something changes, it looks like it beats Kaguya. Hoping Kaguya and Tanya win eventually, but more than happy to see Dragon Ball. Well, as I always do, I don't want to say now because I don't want to influence voting or anything, but I have some plans, Chrome. If the voting ends just how it is now or similar to how it is now, I'll hit you guys up with it. I think I have something that'll be a really good idea and should make everybody happy. YouTube seemed to love the movie Cuties. Yeah, Biff, that was some creepy shit. I don't care how many ways you try to slice that as being well, it's just a documentary. It's just a look at what goes. I don't give a fuck what it just is. That was creepy. But you guys know that's. Anytime bad things happen to kids, anytime kids are even seemingly victimized in any way, it pisses me off. Willie says a British officer encountered a wounded Hitler in battle during World War I. He could have easily killed him, but spared him instead. I didn't know that. That's for real, Willie? I didn't know that. The hell is wrong with that guy? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's why I don't talk about what I might do, Big Green, because I don't want to take any chance on influencing votes. Rosa says there is a parallel universe where the Twin Towers never got attacked. The war in Afghanistan didn't happen or is delayed until another attack. Would the world look more equally or less peaceful? I don't know, Rosa. Sadly, it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference, you think? Especially when, the Middle East is involved in any way. How many centuries has it been the Middle East has been at war? It's not going to end anytime soon. Philip says Hitler is a lucky son of a bitch. That dude escaped death who knows how many times. Fuck off, Train. Probably had the most attempts on his life out of anyone in history. And it seems like the people that had a legit chance, a real chance to get him, didn't take the opportunities. Dummies. Hold on, let me make sure. No, I think... Dragon, I think they're censoring your post, pal. Yeah, because I'm watching for it and I haven't seen it. I think Susan's knocking it down. That's actually pretty funny, War Daddy. He says a gay bomb is 10 guys in a room playing Fortnite. That's pretty good. Paroxysm says, we Brits really fucked up several times. Even me with my lack of political knowledge wouldn't fuck up a global colony. Oh, that's okay. Chrome says, Dragon, just send her the message on Discord and she'll send it over to me. Susan, the Queen of Karens. Ain't that the goddamn truth, Biff? And as I said, I know we get new people in here all the time. But I have options. All YouTubers do. We have options to censor our chat. Of course, I leave them all unchecked. I don't want anything censored in our chat. But they censor it anyway. That's another YouTubeism that I just don't understand. Why even put that there for us? You're going to censor the shit anyway. They just like to give you the illusion of having some control over your own channel. Chrome says, Cuties the film is bad enough. Now take a second to remember they had literally hundreds of girls audition for the film by doing dances at their private casting couch. It's, oh. Well, do you guys remember the South Park episode where Ike enters, Ike enters one of those pageants as a little girl, and the whole time the little girls are on stage performing, the two guy judges are just furiously yanking it. South Park has had so much spot on parody over the years. Code says it's really amazing how Israel's still standing strong despite being surrounded by countries that hate them. It actually is. I mean, no matter where you stand on Middle East politics, it's amazing that they have survived this long. Big Green says, yeah, like how they haven't removed the dislike button on comment sections, giving you the illusion of disliking a comment you disagree with. Yeah. They're just... You know, they would have, YouTube this is, would have spurts here and there where I really thought, hey, they're trying to improve the platform. Even at times when it was something that I might not have seen as an improvement myself, I could see where the thought was in the right place, but it just seems to be less and less of that now. Tankor says, greetings from Finland. Hey, very nice. I've been watching your videos for some time now. Nice work, good sir. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Very nice of you to say. Rosa says, why did Hitler not like the Jews? I don't know. He was probably uncircumcised or something. Yes, Vegito. Vote Kaiba for president so we can all settle things with children's card games. Basic science student tutor says, play children's card games versus world leaders. Or just let the world leaders... I'm a big fan of just letting the world leaders fight it out in fisticuffs. And then the outcome of the fight has no impact on world politics. It's not like the winner gets something. It'd just be fun for us to see these idiots punch each other in the face. I like the screen name. Well, it sure isn't Dale. It says, Israel makes badass weapons and everyone has to serve in the military for a few years. True. Both true. No wonder they're so badass. I forgot the name of their hand-to-hand fighting style, but that's brutal too. Krav Maga. Yes, it is. Krav Maga is absolutely next level badass. Yeah, and that's true. And Israel is fully nuked up. That's very true as well. Yeah, I think... I'm just looking to make sure I didn't miss it. Yeah, I think Dragon's just gotten entirely censored by Susan here. Paroxysm says, Trump, I can see the future. Philip says, ever hear of the July plot? No, that I haven't heard of. Also known as Operation Valkyrie. His own guys... Operation Valkyrie I've heard of. His own guys tried to kill him in 1944 by blowing him up and staging a coup. Got saved by his love of antique oak furniture. There was a... I couldn't even tell you what it was, Philip. Some show I watched that does little snippets of history, of historical happenings, did like a little mini recreation of that. I remember that with somebody smuggling a bomb in a briefcase and stuff, but that's the only reason I knew of that. That was some time ago I saw that. Chrome says, so what, Putin and Trump beat everyone up and become forever leaders? Trump's actually getting in shape for 2024 by the looks of it. I was shocked, Chrome. One of the larger polling companies did a national poll on Trump versus Biden, and it had Trump +1. Trump never led Biden in a legitimate poll the entirety of the run-up to the election. And now he got a +1. Typically, Trump overperforms his polling numbers because a lot of people aren't willing to admit they would vote for him. So if that's the case, that would be very concerning if I were a Democrat. And just for clarity, I am neither Democrat or Republican. Oh, Willie says, in the Brits' defense, he wasn't the Hitler yet. It was years before he took power. Well, too bad he couldn't have just run into a Jack the Ripper type or something. Well, he did prostitute. Well, maybe Hitler was a prostitute. Just somebody psycho enough to kill him just randomly for the shits and gigs. Whoa. Here comes the storms. HC says, do you think God is laughing on us and our race's idiocy? I'm not a big religious guy, but I think if a God does exist, I think he's face-palming a lot. Miro says, Curtis, did you hear that in the Olympics, Taiwan had to change its name to Chinese Tupai because China made them because they're so butthurt they haven't taken it? Yeah. Chinese Taipei it was. Yeah, I read it as it said, but yeah, Chinese Taipei. I remember that. Yeah. The stream could end any minute. Yeah, that was a bad one, Big Green. That was a bad one. Yeah, that was right over us. But there's a whole band of them just to the west of us right now. We're supposed to have them all afternoon. It was horrible humid here today. So I'm assuming must be a cold front's crashing into that humidity or something. I feel bad Dragon couldn't get his, whatever it was he was trying to post in. Rosa says, my dad and mom actually had a fight over if I should be circumcised or not when I was a newborn. My mom thought I had the right to bodily autonomy. My dad did not. Dad ended up bending the knee, though. Oh, very cool. And then, Rosa, you came up with a decision that trumped them both. Taiwan, fight me, China, HD says. And Fluffy says, Thor mad. Yeah. Thor's throwing a little hissy fit out there. Let's see. Krusty Bomb says, I mean, Hitler back then was basically a potentially testicleless soldier with a myriad of injuries. Yeah, true. It is when you think back on his history and everything, what a pathetic loser he was. Can you imagine at the time, though, if you had ever encountered him prior to his ascension to power? It just, from what we know of him, there'd be no way to ever imagine it, you wouldn't think. Yeah. Rosa says, yep, remove the dick entirely. Easy mode, y'all noobs. Paroxysm says, 2/3 of Europe's Jews being gassed to death seems pretty evil to me still, though. I'd say so. Entirely evil. But what I'm saying, though, is Paroxysm, it is weird how, he wasn't, as near as what I've read, he wasn't some badass rising through the ranks of the military and, physically crushing people in his path. And he was just this kind of pathetic nerd that caught the people's imagination, and the rest is unfortunately history. Okay, Dragon's here. Let's try another one. What does a light bulb and a school shooter have in common? Both can light up a room. Oh. Oh. Yikes. Chrome says, well, he was a vegetarian with a funny mustache who failed to get into art college. I remember that. And a socialist. But hey, can't let people admit that. I know. Yeah. People don't like to hear that. A lot of people don't like to hear that now. All right, guys, I gotta go. I wanted to wait and see if Dragon could get his joke in. I apologize for all the issues there, Dragon. And on behalf of YouTube, apologies to you guys who kept getting bounced from the stream. But like I said, YouTube had issues earlier, and YouTube issues are never isolated. If they're having problems with one thing, they'll be having problems with other things as well, unfortunately. I am going to give that a try. I'll try and play it today. So a little later, an episode of Doki Literature Club, the new one, might hit the YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that. Guys, thank you for the stream. This is Wes. Thank you for putting up with Susan's bullshittery, as you guys always do. I appreciate that. It's midweek. It's Wednesday. It's actually garbage day for us. I just took out the garbage. And actually, there was some stuff that was thrown away this time that looked like it still had some decent shelf life left. So I infused a little of it in with the sticky stuff. So it's technically, there's garbage in the sticky stuff, But no, it's good smelling, pure embodiment sticky stuff. You'll enjoy it, trust me. Trust me, famous last words. Pumple pumple, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you. A little refuse infused sticky stuff for you, because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy, and as always, most importantly, and it's never garbage. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.